Just I guess the couple of points on I guess the discourse surrounding Chud the Builder. To me, just two things because y'all said a lot, and I try to keep my thoughts and keep it concise. Number one, this whole every time a white person disrespects and says a racial epithet or does something, we got to respond with violence just to make sure keep our respect up because of the ancestors and how they were brutalized and all this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm an 80s and 90s baby. I've seen plenty of black people defend themselves when it came to white people doing weird stuff to them, whether it be like at work, say if it's a public setting where they're gaslighting, being disrespectful, and then they're acting like why the black person's getting upset and why are they, we know white people do that type of gaslighting. We also know, too, I've seen plenty of times from a child to an adult where some white person says something real or perceived, because we know some Negroes like to make pretext to attack some people, and they went and they handled their business. This is not so. This random white man with no power on the internet that has people aggrieved and all my ancestors. And I just don't understand how this random white man has everybody pressed that has no power over you. So that's one thing. So he has no power over anybody. We really don't have the racial loyalty to be on going on about we got to respect, use violence to get back for our ancestors and all that stuff, because I guarantee you these black men, because we don't care about black women doing it. We want a black man or a YN, because people in the comments are saying we want YNs to do it. We want all these other people to do it. Why don't you do it? If you feel so aggrieved, the white man hurt your feelings so bad. I just don't understand why the people, the commentators, including you, DJ Hamp, and it's no disrespect, why aren't y'all out there trying to put hands on him, since this is so unforgivable, so horrible in the history and all this stuff? And the last thing I'm gonna say is that we need black men, especially, we need something like the Anti-Defamation League for black men. Okay. How we get back at these quote unquote white supremacists and all these other people is health, wealth, ownership, things of that nature. Okay. We don't need to have this old ass system we got to where we have to resort to violence to make ourselves feel better for disrespect. It's just old, bro. And the thing about it, like I said, this is not helping black people rise. This is not helping black people get money in their pocket. This is just an exercise in our feelings are collectively hurt and somebody got to pay. And that's all I see. Go ahead.
You
Thank
know
you.
why? You know why I'm
Let
not
me
out
say
there
this.
punching them
Let
in
me
the
say
face?
this. I have, right? Like I was talking to somebody earlier. Like, people don't know who they talking to, right? They think they hear commentary and think people just talking. I have. So that's the other thing maybe people misunderstand. I ain't asking nobody to do something I
Well,
wouldn't
so
do.
so you so
And
so
this is what
DJ
I'm
Hemp, so
telling you
you've
very
actually
very
went hands
directly.
on.
I
You
have.
went
I have.
so
Multiple
why is this
times.
such a big
And
deal?
here's
So
other
why
thing,
is
right?
this such a
Stop
big deal,
talking while I'm
DJ
talking
Hamp?
for a second, right? And then, right, because I had the floor. You stop talking, right? I have, okay? And I also been to prison for it. So you're not just talking to nobody who telling people to do something that they haven't done previously. All right, so that's very important for you to understand. What I'm speaking about is somebody being overtly racist and an antagonist. You understand? Where people frequent, including families, including the elderly, as we seen. He has no right to accost people and ruin people's day who just trying to get by. Also, in the earth, I comport myself very kindly and nicely to people, and I'm polite and I go out my way, because if I'm not playing, I'm not playing. That's the point I'm making, right? There's no need for men like yourself to come up here and say, well, what are you talking about the ancestors? We talking about respect or disrespect? We talking about messing up people's days who are already struggling, right? The people in our country are not doing well. 90% of us are living a paycheck to paycheck. That old man out there trying to work, the old white man, mind you. I don't know why you keep talking about the ancestors. I'm talking about him too. Why does he have to deal with that when he's still working at 80 years old? That's the stuff I'm talking about that men don't allow. And the men in proximity should do something about that. It's just that simple. Go ahead. My bad. Let me bring these guys up here.
I apologize for talking over you.
It's okay.
Uh, the main thing is I just don't understand why. And the thing about it is every single situation with Chud the Builder, some of them he
Mm-hmm.
was antagonistic and stupid. I'm not. The thing about it, I'm not even defending this guy. Like so, that's one thing. I'm not defending him, but the
Yeah.
responses to this guy have me pretty perplexed. Yes, okay. If the people that he actually did accost illegally and all that stuff, in that moment, it probably would have been a good idea to act. You would have been exonerated in the court of law. But there are other situations where he just said a word and people are just, upset and they want to fight. Bro, like you said, either fight or just remove yourself from the situation. I've been called names by all types of people, white, black, in the middle, and cooler heads prevail at most of the time. And the example y'all, and I'm gonna say this is an emotional example y'all gave, the whole Mother's Day thing, or with your mom or girlfriend, and you're out in public, minding your own business, not messing with anybody, and some random dummy comes to your mom or your girlfriend and says, "Hey, you bitch," or whatever. Now, there's a difference between coming like right up in her face in an aggressive manner, saying, "You fucking bitch," blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put hands on the dude because that's kind of, that looks pretty aggressive out of nowhere, whatever. But if he's just like, "You bitch," or whatever from like a distance, or he's like trying to retreat from me when I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing?" Um, I just don't see the total utility in me and all these men just putting their hands on, especially considering the laws we have in a lot of places to where you get charges for things like that. And like I said, at the end of the day, does it really serve justice? Does it really serve you? Like I said, if somebody's trying to hurt my mom or my grandma or my girlfriend all day, self-defense, I can still carry it just like everybody else. But I just don't understand over words and perceived disrespect or respect or disrespect. I have to just go ham. I just
I don't.
so go ahead, bro.
I'm trying to. This, I guess this is what is interesting, right? You've seen the things, and I just don't know what y'all. I'm afraid for you because I don't know what you would allow. I'm afraid for your lineage because I don't know what you would allow. Because you want to minimize things so easily, right? And I just don't understand that ideology or that modus operandi. I don't know if you don't have kids, but I just don't know.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. I know what.
I don't know
Sorry.
what you would like. For instance, right? There was a store where we used to live, and my wife couldn't go there at certain times or particular times because we just let anything happen in our communities. We don't address anything ever. We just let so many things slide. And it's not even about being disrespectful, right? You can address things in a way in which people get to understand it. But you keep saying words to try to minimize it. And I just think that you would extrapolate that understanding to a slap, to spit, to somebody breaking in your car, somebody opening your screen door. I think you would extrapolate that thinking to just about anything so you can exonerate yourself from having to do anything.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm afraid for you.
And you don't even know what I do for a living here, or I've done for a living. So
Yes, I do.
I've dealt with like people. Well, so why are you going to tell me I'll just allow anything? I just have an understanding of the law, and I have an understanding of what matters most to me. And somebody
What's the
using
understanding of the law?
racial slur. What do you mean?
What's the understanding of the law? How many
Like
times have you been
I have an
prosecuted?
understanding to where I can take. I have an understanding to where I can take things if people come to me in a certain manner. That's
Well,
what I mean.
What's your understanding about the law?
My understanding is if somebody threatens my life, or if I perceive that my life is in danger, I can defend myself.
What have you ever been prosecuted?
No, thank God.
You
And
ever been
hopefully
in
I
front
can
of
go the
you
rest
ever
of my
been,
life without that happening.
so you really don't understand, right? So when Mr. Fantastic put the statutes in front of you, right, you just ignored them. See, this is what I noticed, right, when you were in the chat. People were offering viable information, specifically Mr. Fantastic. You ignored it regarding the statutes of the law that you say you understand to still make the same point.
That wasn't every situation, DJ Hamp.
He was
That
talking about
wasn't
what
every
he's
single
talking
situation.
about. He's talking about what he's talking about.
DJ Hamp already gave the disclaimer. I said if there were certain instances where he was actually antagonizing and breaking the law, if the people would have acted in that moment, they would have been exonerated because they would have acted appropriate in the eyes of the law.
What's considered breaking the law?
That's what I said. Well, like I said, he put out the statutes.
What's considered breaking the law?
Being antagonistic, huh?
What's considered breaking the law?
Being
antagonizing isn't considered breaking the law. What it is what is grounds for action. But that's what I'm saying. You weren't even listening. He's Mr. Fantastic.
Yes, I actually was listening. You're just talking over me, Hamp. But go ahead, bro.
I know people do that, right? When they really kind of are at a deficit in the conversation, right? They try to make a disclaimer about what's happening.
Well, I didn't use all the words, but pretty much it's that when you're going up to somebody, because like I don't know the actual, I don't remember the statutes he put out, the Tennessee state statutes he put out. But like I said, if those were being violated, people can act on those. I don't know why you're saying I ignored those.
Watch this, because you said pretty much, right? But then you're the one who's saying that you predicate your actions based on law. Law isn't pretty much. Law is written in black and white, right? What prosecutors do and attorneys do is create gray for reasonable doubt, right? So it's not pretty much with the law. You understand? So I'm actually listening.
I'm not a law scholar in Tennessee. I'm not a law scholar in Tennessee.
But I'm actually listening to the gentleman who actually said what he said. And so now there's things that you can apply or you let it fly based on what's happening, right? But you had a presupposition, you joined the conversation and ignored everything said before you hit the link.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So what did you learn? What did you learn?
That's what you are saying.
I'm asserting.
That's what you are saying.
Yes,
but I didn't ignore anything.
I'm asserting that.
Yeah. And it's not true.
Tell me how.
So whatever.
No, not whatever. Tell me
I literally said, okay, you're saying I ignored everything Fantastic said about the statutes, and I didn't. You just said I did, but I actually didn't. And I took that into account, and that's why I said what I said preemptively, and you're still ignoring that or saying that doesn't matter or whatever. So
what did he say?
Like I said, if those statutes were being violated, people can act in that moment if they are being violated in that way. So I don't understand why.
So let me ask you a question, right? Because the context is Tennessee, correct? We're literally talking about what's happening in Nashville specifically. And we're saying based on the statutes that Mr. Fantastic eloquently laid out, what do you do next? Right? He said there's grounds for certain actions based on a person being an antagonist, a tyrant, etc. Right? The defense of others, they have that in Tennessee as well. But you still came up here and said what you said after he said that. So we're asking about the black men in Tennessee. You're one of the black men in Tennessee. What do you do knowing the statutes?
Also consider the fighting words doctrine.
Hey, Ham, just look at the screen. I shared the screen.
Okay. But that's what I'm asking AFR. You see, that's why I'm pushing, because he gave us this. He told us this. It's in the context of Tennessee. And yet you come up here and start talking about, doing such and such over words. But we were looking at the statutes in Tennessee specifically and what is grounds for action.
What is it?
So, well, he hadn't shared the screen yet. But like I said,
I'm gonna share the screen. But that's my problem though. That's what we were talking about specifically. And now people fighting over work. No, we talking about what's happening in Tennessee in real time. Like you told me, why am I not in Tennessee? But that's one of the key issues.
Hey, yo, could y'all hear me real quick?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, well.
Hey, yo, good morning. Hold on, AF. I just want to say good morning to everybody. I hope everybody having a great Monday. I just wanted to ask one question about this. When it says self-defense limitations, it says the threat or use of force is not justified if the person using force provoked the other individual use of unlawful force. Do you understand that, AFR?
Yes, I understand that.
So you understand that basically it's saying that if somebody's provoking you, you can use force. Is that what it's saying in this statute right here? Mr. Fantastic, is that what that's basically saying?
No, it's saying just the opposite. It's saying you can't go up to someone and provoke them or do what Chud the Builder is doing. And then it didn't even mention firearms, but it's understood to be included, right? Because it's self-defense, right? You can't do that. And then if and when that person reacts to you, now you're saying self-defense because you're the initiator of the altercation. You cannot do that. That is unlawful, and they make sure to cover that in most stand your ground states and cases, pro 2A things, because in that case you can just shoot anybody you want to shoot, talk shit to a motherfucker, start shit with them and shoot them.
Right. If you
Yeah,
provoke
exactly.
them.
You can't. So that's the whole
Yeah,
point.
Lee, you were saying
Right. So basically,
yeah, you kind of said what Ms.
sorry.
Y'all was saying the same thing.
They in
I
line.
understood what
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we basically saying the same thing. We said it backwards.
Yeah.
Or differently. So you know. Oh wait, I don't want to cut in between y'all conversation. I just wanted to make that
Well,
point.
I want to make sure
AFR
AFR was able to respond, Lee, because I
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
was talking
AFR. I just
last.
wanted to
I
make
don't
that
know if he was able
Thank
to
you.
respond.
Okay, so like I said, if he was actually provoking somebody in that moment, they could have acted. I'm not saying, like I said there were times where he did actually accost people,
Okay.
and people didn't act. You know, I can't help that. That has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
But there are other instances where people may have not been protected by this law. That's all I'm saying. I don't really understand why people are upset at me, or I'm like defending him, or I'm saying you should let somebody disrespect you. I just don't understand why there's a lot of people that are saying violence should be enacted upon him or whatever, especially in every instance. That's why I'm like, I don't know. That's just like bait for somebody to go to jail. And I don't want anybody to go to jail
You just
unnecessarily. And
backtracked
like I
right
said,
there. You just backtracked. He just pulled out a law that says that you won't go to jail. So you can't keep using that. That's what Hant trying to say.
no, well, what I'm saying is not every instance that they've interacted with Chud the Builder, I believe, is with that law, or they will be protected under this law. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, because when I'm saying every single. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I understand what AFR is looking at the whole thing. Hey, don't get locked up, don't get a criminal record, or take the chance and risking it. What we're saying, AFR, is in the majority of these cases, right? That he's initiating the conversations. And the wonderful thing about it is that this is recorded. So him walking up to a group of people and starting to use racially incendiary language is provocation. So in most of the cases, he really is doing what you say he's not doing. He doesn't have to be aggressive or so on and so forth. That is understood to be. And in some states, actually, I think that it's not assault, but it's something. I think they locked him up
law.
for no. What's the word I'm looking for? AFR. They just locked him up for it's either inciting or something, or it's like public what you call it?
Public disorderly conduct.
Yeah, disorderly.
nuisance.
Disorderly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's just the disorderly covers it all. So once you do that to a group of people, black people especially, you're doing that, and then like say he had, and I think that's why. I assume that the prosecutor has not, given out any reason as to why he was actually arrested, and so on and so forth, how they're going to carry it on. But in his arrest, you see what I'm saying? They said the charge and the reason why they arrested him, bro. This in itself, AFR, is what we're saying. Of course, bro. Hey, don't just go to jail or whatever, right? But the problem and the issue is twofold. Black people against black people. We see this all the time. Niggas lose their lives for less, right? So when you have a white boy that's being purposely disrespectful, that's seeking out black people to do harm, and then nothing happens to him, it gives off, you niggas really, what's going on here? What are we doing? It just further compounds a lot of the issues we have internally. And what are you going to do about someone blatantly disrespecting you to your face? Now, you have a choice as a man, right? You have a choice, right? You could roll the dice and whatever. But me, AFR, bro, and I'm a law-abiding citizen, my record is clean. The last thing any white man on this planet would ever do smartly, right, and he wants to keep his teeth in his health, is walk up to me and call me a hard R, bro. And I don't play any of those games. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe in a white man this or so on and so forth. But as a man, you're not gonna fucking play with me. and
That's understandable.
understanding that I hold that standard to a black man, and I give him far more grace, understanding that, you know, the niggerlander syndrome is real. So, you know, he can get a couple of, you know, N words and, you know, vagina N words and all this other shit and la la la. All right, bro. But it comes a time, even that with him, you know, hey, the disrespect, bro. We passed that. Now what we gonna do? We gonna do something about it, or we finna hook off? And that's another thing too. I mean, man,
I do
I
have
play
one
a lot of
question, Mr.
basketball, bro.
Fantastic. I do
Go
have
ahead.
one question, Mr. Fantastic, on the use of the N word. Now, obviously, we know if somebody just uses it in anticipation, or goes up to somebody randomly, uses the N word or whatever. But where I'm coming from is, if somebody hires a lawyer and they make, because I know people keep saying this fighting words doctrine. I just don't believe every instance that somebody just says, "Oh, they call me the N word," and I attack
Yeah, but
them.
you moving your stance though. We ain't saying every instance. We talking about this specific
Oh, okay,
situation.
no,
where
okay,
you
okay.
see this.
Well, let me. Okay, cool. Thank you. Unlikely. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Okay, what I'm saying is, in these instances, in these cases, every single time, if somebody hires a lawyer, they can do context attack or something to where this person can get off. So what I'm saying is, I just want people to make sure they're actually being attacked, or, you know, people really using the real slur towards them, and not just hear something and then get triggered and is attack somebody. Like, I'm not saying for people to get disrespected openly, but what I'm saying is, it's just that I've seen it in my life where people popped off a little too quick and they weren't protected by these laws. That's literally all I'm
No,
saying. I do
AFR,
understand
AFR.
Ms.
I think you're
Fantastic.
giving. Go
Ms.
ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Why? No. AFR said exactly what he said, and Lee is on point. He was saying exactly what he said previously. Now he's giving like some level of grace. He's saying black people do X. Black people we want the YNs to do. That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. That's why.
no, and I agree. And the people do want that. People do want that. Yes, I agree with
You're
that.
saying
I'll stand on it.
now. You're saying everything now. So let me ask you a question. What are you? What kind of judgment are you going to leverage? The stuff you were saying in the chat, or what you're saying now after you've been edified?
Like I said, there's a class of black folks that they don't care about black men and boys, and they want to see a crash out because they feel aggrieved of what they've seen on the internet. I'm not going to back down from that.
What class
But also, like I said, I'm sorry.
What class is that? Break that down.
They want the lower class of black Americans to do their dirty work for them.
What's
That's why
considered
people
lower
keep saying
class?
YNs. YNs. Well, YNs has a particular, you know, social, I would say, connotation. So, and it doesn't scream higher class. So I see a lot of that. And even with beyond this, but that's why I have my opinion on this certain opinion.
No, because
I
I was just remembering a clip, right? Where you thought you were being antagonized, and you started yelling and screaming and calling bitch to women. And so I'm just trying to figure out, where does your emotionality lie when you don't have a consequence? That's when you be rude to people, or in person, are you like lesser than?
Well, I mean, you have women disrespect men on this panel all the time, and there's no
I'm asking you directly.
So.
I'm saying that you, right, got out of your body, I guess, because you keep on mentioning people being emotional, right? And so you were being cut off, right? And you proceeded to yell, bitch, this, that, and the third. Were you emotional at that juncture? Like, how does this work for you? And then if you are in front of men in person, are you going to tuck your tail because disrespect is not worth going to jail? How does this work? Are you going to let people disrespect your woman in front of you, and you saying it's an emotional situation if somebody were to call your woman a bitch, so you're not going to respond? What are you? Who are you? And on here and in person, who are you?
I take every situation how it comes. So not every situation is the same.
Okay.
Like I said, on here, I literally had temp. Sorry, I'm not saying it. Tip, like literally disrespect the hell out of me, call me all types of names. You didn't correct her. You didn't pause her. You didn't say nothing. And then when I responded in kind, then it's like, oh, AFR, you're just so emotional on these women, and you're a man, and all this other stuff. So it's just like,
it's not true.
Okay, whatever.
It's not true.
Okay, cool.
In that moment, you know what I said to her? You know what I said to you? Nothing. I said nothing because the disrespect was mutually shared. I said nothing at all.
And you could have actually stopped it. You could have actually told her to shut up and let me speak and get my stuff off.
Look at him. Look what he's doing now. I'm saying this. In that moment, right? You got out your body. I guess now you're saying, oh, Hamp should have helped me. Okay. I agree. But you got out your body, and I didn't correct either one of you. You
actually allowed the conditions for that to happen.
I didn't correct either one of you, right? Look at you now. So now I'm trying to figure out at what
you're
point.
You're correcting me now.
You're correcting me now. No, I'm not. I'm saying that you got emotional. You started yelling and fussing. At that point.
Did I deny it?
That's all I'm saying. I'm not correcting you. I'm calling out the behavior.
I was actually being a
calling out the behavior. Look at you now. Look at you being belligerent now. I can see it.
I'm trying to defend myself.
All right, let me finish. Then you can be belligerent after. So I saw. Okay, I'm coming. Who? Dryer. Okay. Right. So you said Hamp saved me. Okay, I got that. You're right. But I'm saying that
Hamp saved me.
You acted how you acted, right? Over the internet, over words. Over words. But now you saying white boy in my face say nigger. Oh, it ain't worth it. I don't want to go. But over words on the internet, you started acting crazy. So at what point do you draw the line is all I'm asking.
Well, you're just trying to say we're all hypocrites to some degree.
No, I'm not. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking about Lily. I did get emotional. I'm not talking to cracks. I gotta interject, AFR, because I'm not saying I'm saying you. I'm asking you about your behavior.
Yeah, you ain't call me no hypocrite.
Do you want me to apologize, or do you want me to?
No, I'm saying that I would expect you to do the same thing. Right? I'm saying I'm expecting you to just say the same thing or do the same thing in person, especially to some white boy in your face calling you nigger, because you got there when a woman was talking shit to you over words. You said bitch and all types of shit like those ain't fighting words. So I'm just asking.
Think about it, Hamp.
Go ahead, talk your shit.
Hamp. Hamp. It's not like every single time somebody's gotten in my face and said something disrespectful or I felt threatened. I didn't take appropriate action. Like. Okay. I understand you think I'm some type of bitch that will let anybody say anything at any time to me, my family, whatever. I get that. But like I said, I see too many pitfalls for black men like myself, and I ain't gonna jump in it. Okay. And that's it. So
I don't think you're a bitch. I don't think you're a bitch.
And me being emotional, and hold on, Hamp, and me being emotional because I came on here to have a conversation in good faith, to not interrupt anybody else, to not get interrupted. You allowed a emotional woman that has a level of that has a history of disrespecting black men on here for whatever, and you allowed her to do it instead of saying, "Hey, Tip, can you please stop?" Blah blah blah, and just mute her or something. So it's not me, Hamp. Come save me. This is your platform. You don't want black women to get disrespected. I gave her the same energy back, and that's it. So you can call me emotional and bad or whatever. It is what it is. So
you're saying also, things that I didn't say. I have to go because I have to go to work. I'll watch from the background. We can have another conversation. So I'm not running away or whatever. And I can admit when I'm wrong on stuff, but I just have to go right now. So you take it easy. 100%, man. 100%.
You escape, boy. Because I
shut. What?
You escaped the conversation I was getting ready to have with you. You escaping it.
No,
am I frozen or is he frozen?
I think he frozen. No, it's just interesting, man. Like that's just interesting to me, when that back and forth we go crazy, and then in my face I'm gonna have all this decorum. Like it just makes zero sense. Like I never called nobody out their name. Aaron never. Right. And I'm saying in person is the same thing. I'm going to be kind. But if you unkind to me in person as a man, it looks different.
Say that. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's exactly the point. In person, it seems like you'll be more retaliatory in person because you actually have the opportunity to be effective
That's
rather
all it
than be retaliatory online.
That's all.
Furthermore, what's more disrespectful, being cut off by a black woman or being called a nigga by a white man? And we talk about she has a history of disrespect, but the history of white men having disrespect spans much longer and as much as it covers a much broader swatch, a broader path. So it seems as though if you're faced with that level of disrespect in person, that's when you activate, not when you're faced with a lower level of disrespect online where you can't really do anything about it anyway.
Yeah, that was the overarching point, right? Tiff was doing her cutting off thing, you know. You tell her be quiet, whatever the case is, right? He felt as though he got cut off too many times, proceeded to use provocative language, right? And I didn't admonish him at all in that instance, you know. But I recalled it because it's interesting. And so now in your face in person, that energy isn't carried. That's the thing that is inconsistent.